Oh my god. What's all this then? Hi, Ryu. How's it going? I'm posting notifications. Pow. Hi. Welcome. I noticed right at the start here we had a little hitch, and I was having a few little hitches. So if the internet goes south on me, we might end up cutting this short. At the moment, it looks like it has stabilized. So we're gonna plow ahead, but keep that in mind. Let me know if stuff starts going nuts. Um, how's my day been going? I had a pretty lazy day today in the lead up to this. I left a bunch of dishes to clean up, so there's a few still living over here. Um, so I had to do that. And while I was doing that, I also decided to take the opportunity to season up some woks. I have woks in different sizes. We've used two woks. I actually have four, and they're all different sizes, from a little tiny one up to a gigantic one, which is the one we see most often, the giant one. And they're actually cooling in the oven right now. So we can pull those out and look at them and maybe chit chat about seasoning woks, because I might even be convinced to do a reseason on one of the other ones as a demonstration. Otherwise, uh, we are, I should say, otherwise. Thanks so much for the resub, Rayuya. 14 months in a row. That is almost a year. Um, and you, uh, I mean, I always say I don't know why any of you are sticking around with this nonsense. I think I get worse every day. Um, yeah. So what have I got today? Well, I was talking with after a raid. I was talking with Room and Board, chef. I actually don't know their name, their actual name. About they were making Pop Tarts, and we got to talking about putting some weird stuff in Pop Tarts, and that led into talking about putting making custom versions of other things, and the discussion went to pizza rolls. And after that, I did some research on how real pizza rolls are made, and they were originally made with egg roll skins. Well, I have had this in my freezer, and I thawed it out, so it's ready to go, for a while, wondering what I'm going to do with it. So that's what we're doing today, is I'm going to be making experimental egg rolls. Um, we can make them any shape we want. We could try to make little, like, Totino's square things. We could make full wrapped up egg roll shaped ones. I've got a brick of mozzarella. I got some pepperoni. I got some peppers, some onions, some tomatoes. I've also got leftover hot dogs, pickles, eggs. We could bok choy. Like I said, we could throw experiments at this. We could potentially thaw something out. Might be hard to thaw out a big chunk of something to work with, but it wouldn't be that hard to thaw out some shrimp. A couple of the other pieces of fish are small enough to work with. So that's that's the plan, um, and I'm sticking to it. I'm also pretty hungry. I was worried a little bit because remember last time, Pop Tarts flavored pizza rolls. We could try. Hi, by the way, before I jump again, Catatonic. Hi. Um, we could try sweet flavors or existing Pop Tart flavors. I don't have a ton of fruit, but we could play around with it. Um, you remember the very last time when I went out to get some herbs, there was a note on my door that said they were going to do construction in the back alley. They said they were going to start that construction today. No sign of construction. I was a little bit worried that it might be noisy if they actually broke ground and started doing that today. So I was hesitant, but no, they haven't been around at all. Uh, Somebody out there with a clippers cutting weeds now. So who knows what's going to happen? At the moment, it's all quiet. The last thing you made related to pizza were pizza puffs, which would be more like a turnover, right? I don't think I've had Little Caesar pizza puffs. Or wait, I remember seeing a commercial for those. They were like they were like little Yorkshire puddings, full of pizza stuff, right? Those seemed like they could be interesting. Bob, hello, welcome. Oh, I'm just noticing I need to give myself a trim. I'm getting that kind of helmet look going on. Welcome in. How's it going? Um, yeah, so we've got leftover hot dogs from the 4th of July. So they're already grilled. We could try wrapping those up, see what they do with. Scrambled egg pepperoni scallion egg roll. We could do one of those. I gotta write some of these down. Hold on. Hold on, I gotta get a notepad. Flemish! Flemish, what are you doing? Why are you still here? 12 months, that's almost a year. Uh, Egg, pepperoni, scallion. Catatonic wants Pop Tart flavored pizza roll. I'm not sure exactly what you mean, but we can try it. Write down Pop Tart. We'll figure that out. Write these down because I'm gonna forget stuff. Okay. Well, I'm gonna start doing stuff over here. With feature flavors, what I was looking at doing? I was going to make pepperoni pizza as like a classic thing, and then I was also thinking I would try one with a hot dog. I could do like a Chicago dog, but in a thing. We're also not constrained to the shape. We can branch out, make things long and skinny, thin and square, all sorts of stuff. Let me grab an onion. Squeak. Onion and a board. And I can, like I said, I can thaw stuff out if we need to. Jeez. Dropped a knife. I'm going to start, because I want to make a sauce as well. So I'm going to start making a sauce. This is just a sauce that I think has been in my head. Well, it's been in my head since earlier today, but it's not something I'm familiar with, not something I had read about. I just thought, let's try that. And it should be I suppose except for the Pop-Tart one, it should be a decent all-purpose sauce for whatever flavors we end up with. You've Never had a pizza roll. Well, the official ones made by Totino's. I read about the history of these things, so I'm aware of the nonsense, because it's a little bit of nonsense. Mr. Totino was not the creator of the pizza roll. One of his employees was. He owned a Chinese frozen food company and wanted to come up with something else to do with the egg roll wrapping machine. So he just directed his lab to start creating things to run through the egg roll machine. And oh, these onions have been weird. These onions that I've got, they don't want to hold, the bits don't hold together very well. So we're just gonna, and they tried like, I forget exactly how many. It was nearly 100 different flavors, all over the map. And the only ones that anyone seemed to like were the pizza-themed ones. So that's what they did, and that's the origin. So they're literally like pizza toppings wrapped up in an egg roll skin. And then there are these little, the official ones that make these little square, pouches. And they are deep fried at the factory and then frozen, and then you reheat them by baking or, I know, leave the root end to stay together. But most onions don't. These onions like want to come apart fibrously. I understand that, but there's more to it. These are not behaving like normal onions. The inner core has these lengthwise sort of fibers that are separating from each other, and I think these onions were maybe trying to flower when they got harvested. Because you see how they kind of mash apart. This is a very sharp knife, but the layers just have no structure clinging to each other at all. More so than normal onion. So yeah, that's my guess. Is the onions were sprouting, and they harvested them anyways, and I ended up with these onions. So I got to use up the onions, but it makes them a little bit awkward to cut up. So an onion. Over here. And olive oil. And heat, but low. And a little bit of salt. We're gonna probably not do a full caramelize because I don't want to go through the trouble, but I would like to get these a little bit on the direction towards caramelizing. For my sauce. So that's gonna sit there on the back with the lid for a while. I want to put it in the back because we're going to use the front one. The front one's going to have oil because I'm going to go with fried. Shallow fried? Let's go with a shallow fry today. means I need a pan. I could use, it's still hot in there? It's still kind of hot in there, and I'm not ready to grab those with my bare hands. A cast iron. Now someone is mowing. Right now, right this moment, someone is mowing. Well, great. I apologize for the mowing noises. Let's see. Cinnamon brown sugar strawberry. Dessert pizza shrimp and feta. Cinnamon brown sugar pizza roll. Okay. Write these down. Cinnamon brown sugar. Shrimp and feta. The sprouty onions. Flemish got poisoned by a Totino's party pizza. Those are those square, flat pizzas with no crust edges that are just a nightmare. Bob does not want shrimp and feta anymore. Okay, deleted. Deleted. Yeah, those Totino's pizzas, they call them party pizzas. They're barely oh, you know what? Oh, we're not making dessert ones. We're not well, some of the ones we've suggested here are dessert ones, but we're not aiming for just dessert ones. I don't have any dill. It's always going to be a hitch if I don't have an ingredient. I should actually check if I've got any feta. I might not have any feta either. I in fact do not have feta. We can't do feta. I have paneer, mozzarella, Gruyere, Parmesan, garlic and capers. Did I not put this on? No, that's not hot at all. I'm going to put my oil on now. No, those things are terrible. They're about. I think you can get 2 for $3 at the store now, and they're like, about that big, about the size of a book. Just awful. Just awful. They taste like nothing. They don't even taste like bad pizza. They mostly just taste like nothing. Okay. We can start opening stuff. I'll think about the other piece. Is that cheese from Woodman's? It is. Crafted in Wisconsin. Proud Wisconsin cheese. It indeed is. Well, these egg roll wrappers are ones I've never tried before. So in fact, we should open these up, see if this is going to work at all. They're probably a little bit freezer burned. Nope, and they're definitely cracking quite severely. The outer surface one on both sides might be a fail, might be a loss. Do I have brick cheese? No. No. Yeah, okay, that one's all shredded up, so I'm just going to pull that one off, call it a loss. Okay. Yeah. So, our most basic one here. My very first idea. Based on a product that I actually saw in the store. Would be that. Just the surface one was dried out. The rest of them seem fine. I do need to here. What I should do is. What I should do is lightly wet a towel. Yeah, the one on either surface looked real bad shape, but the one directly underneath it was fine. There's a little bit of drying on the very edge there, but that's as long as I'm careful when I pull them apart. Doesn't seem like it's going to be a big issue. But lightly wetted paper towel. Yeah, see, the one on this side is also all cracked and gnarly. But if I just do this. And then the lightly wetted towel, you might even add a little bit of wet to that towel. Will prevent them from drying out as I'm working with each one, because that is a danger that they would dry out, especially since these are eggless roll wrappers. I've got a bell pepper, and I've got more onions. This is onion in the sauce. Should have just prepped ingredients. I just started cooking. Sometimes you just start cooking. there. And then we fry that. Whenever our oil is hot, which we're not gonna put in the whole shebang. We're gonna do it the short way with this guy. Okay, so that's my first idea. And my second idea was a hot dog. Like I said, leftover hot dogs. They were grilled. Now they're kind of shriveled up. Flap glue. In theory, it should fry. In theory, it should fry itself shut. Egg roll wrappers aren't as touchy about that as like a spring roll wrapper. I can put a little dab just on the corner there to hold it down. Barbecue chicken. I have barbecue sauce. I would have to thaw out some chicken. We could try that. We might not get to all of them, depending on how I feel. Also, this first one I made was just literally egg roll shaped, but part of what I wanted to experiment with, once the oil is hot, we'll do this one as a starter. Once the oil is hot, I want to make little square ones, see how that actually works. In that case, we should do flap glue. The hot dog should have a pickle. Also, we've got a lot of sriracha. I don't know if you heard, but we've got a quantity of sriracha. Stuff a swordfish in one of them. I don't have swordfish. We are not able to do that. I can pull out, for Ryuya's request, some frozen chicken thighs, Ryuya's favorite piece of chicken, which is the only chicken I've got on hand. Let's actually get that thawing. I can get that thawing. Glacier, hello, goodbye, lurk on the drive home. Happy drive home. What do you think about a Chicago-style hot dog? I think that one sounds interesting. Let's check our oil temperature. I can be frying one and I got about 310. Get one of these guys off of here. No ketchup. No ketchup. We have a couple Chicagoans in chat, I believe. The hot dog. The hot dog was grilled for the 4th and has been in my fridge since that fateful day. What I got out here was a jar of pickles. Chef, we were just talking about you because it was when I was talking to you that I came up with the notion of trying this. Well, we've built one pizza, which is a big log of cheese wrapped with bell peppers and pepperoni, and I am making an all-purpose dip that is going to be the dip for all of our stuff, which is going to get the tomato element in there. That's going to have to appear toward the end. And now I'm making a hot dog. These are this. Nasoya brand plant-based egg roll wrappers, which I got, as you can see, for $1.50. Anyway, I don't have all the things to make a proper Chicago-style hot dog. But I can do pickles. These little hot pepper, little pickled banana peppers. What else goes on a Chicago dog? There's hot peppers, pickles, onions. There's onions on a Chicago dog, right? It's been a while since I had one. Let's get out one of these weird sprouty onions. Yeah, I don't need the bigger board, but I need more room. Okay. I'm semi-forgiven. I think our oil is probably hot enough to put in our first one. $300, $316, $320, $327. Yes. Yes, it is. So sliding over here, grabbing our first one. We're going for a shallow today. And we're going for a be careful with dropping stuff in and splashing today. I'm also going to need a catcher plate with some paper toweling. Probably turn that up just a scooch. Just a scooch. We'll check on our onions. I keep missing stuff. Almost bought wonton wrappers, semi-forgiven, relish, celery, salt, tomato, mustard, chili dog. Chili dog. That's. Oops. Crap. Well, they're not caramelizing, they're just browning, so that's fine, that's fine. What was I doing? I'm getting. Oh. Hey. Hey. Definitely got to keep an eye on them. little bit of mustard. We don't want too much liquid inside of these things. But we can shoot in a little mustard. We can shoot in, I don't have relish either. We're always going to be constrained by what I actually have on hand. I've got some celery salt. So I'm not going to make a batch of chili from scratch because that sounds like too much work. That needs to be gone to the next stage, and I also need to wrap up this hot dog before the wrapper dries out. Just punt. Okay, I guess that's all she wrote on the old the thing there. Garlic, which I should have prepped in advance, but I did not because I'm being a fool today. Oh, and this guy can go in our oil. That was dangerous. That was only a little bit dangerous. It only splashed directly at my hand a little bit. Okay, garlic is going in with my onions. We're going to let that get fragrant, and then we're going to throw in our tomatoes. We are making a tomato sauce. An all-purpose tomato sauce. I've thrown that in. It's going to need... We need chopsticks. I think it's too hot. I think stuff is a little bit too hot, so we're bringing the temperature down. So, what's everybody else doing while I'm wrangling chaos here? I should shout people out. I've just been flailing in the dark here. Let's see. Your chat identity is not your real identity. That is. Got to remember these things. Okay. I can smell my garlic. So I'm going to give that a good dash of rice vinegar. And a can of crushed tomato. We should try some little ones. We should try some small ones too. I know I've said that a couple times already, but rice vinegar, onion, garlic, tomato. Soy sauce. Brown sugar, cinnamon for a small one. Yeah, that might be hard to get into a roll. Nothing is frying right now. The oil is just being hot. Okay, what do we do next? What's the next one? I'm going to put the lid back on the tomato sauce and bring the temperature on it down a little bit more. We just want it to sort of bruttle away. Just got to find the edge of these guys without tearing into them. There we go. There we go. Whew. Ah, shoot, I tore it. Ah, crap. Okay, no, saved. It's right. It's only just a little nick on the edge. You really don't want to tear these things. I'm going to add a little bit more water to our paper toweling here. To add water to the paper towel, I'm literally just wetting my hand and then letting it drip onto the things. Okay. Brown sugar, cinnamon. It's more complicated than you realize to do a brown sugar cinnamon because I don't have brown sugar. So we have to build our own brown sugar first. And that is how you do that. Cinnamon. And I'm inclined to give it just the tiniest kiss of nutmeg. Cayenne. I'm not putting cayenne in this one. That did not work as well as I had hoped. Yeah, you gotta get off of that there, guy. Okay. Brown sugar, cinnamon, nutmeg. Ryu is cayenne. Cayenne. No, Ryu didn't say cayenne. Bob said cayenne. Do I have any cayenne? Here's a question. Do I have any cayenne? I do. I do. I'm actually inclined to take this and split it. I think these are going to be pretty strong, and we could do 2 of them. Probably too much cayenne. I need a little bowl of water, because I am going to want to seal the edges on these guys. Seal and crimp, seal and crimp. Oh, it's way too much cayenne on that one. That was a problem. I couldn't see it from my side. You guys have the top-down view. Okay. Fold it up like a little parcel. Chuck it in. Oh, that one's gonna fry fast. It sure is doing things. It sure is doing things. I'm not sure how to get the extra cayenne off that top one. Wow, did that fry fast. Wow, did that fry fast. Okay, well. Okay. I think I want it to be much more squished out than the first one. Much more squished out than the first one. We're even going to give it a flip so that I can fold it inward. And crimp. I also think our oil might be again too hot. I should temp it. Our oil is much too hot. Oh, I crimped it without you guys looking at it. Okay, well. Boy, it just balloons up. I might even add a little bit more oil just to, not that I need more oil, but adding a little bit of not hot oil will help bring the overall temperature down. Because it's running a little hot. Okay, rolled right. Ah, damn it. It wants to roll right off the back because it's so round. In fact, it did roll right off the back, and I saved it, and then I burned myself trying to save it. Okay. No idea if those worked at all. We will find out later. What else are we doing? The Pop-Tart was cinnamon brown sugar. Egg pepperoni scallion. Egg pepperoni scallion. Egg pepperoni scallion. That's an interesting combination. I got a pickle. Little fry pan, dab of oil, heat on. Egg. I'll just crack it right there. Do I want to do fried egg or do I want to do scrambled? You said scrambled eggs. We'll go with the suggestion. Egg. Oh. Oil. This is, in fact, the. I don't know if any of you remember when I was talking about this guy earlier. This is that other Hex pan that I got. That was not the Hex brand one. It has been performing really well. It has become my go-to eggs pan. Things don't necessarily stick or not stick perfectly on it, but it fries up things so nicely. Okay. Those are getting started. I could do a quick other one. I could do... Someone said shrimp. Someone said shrimp at some point. Someone at some point somewhere in the world said the word shrimp, and thus I'm going to thaw out a shrimp. Just one. We'll just do one. We'll just do one. Just a single shrimp. Mish. Hi. Feta was in the same sentence. I don't have feta. We can't do shrimp and feta because I don't have the feta part of that combination. Okay, that's enough. We're going to get extra. We're going to get some extra heat from the frying process. So I don't want my egg to be fully, yeah, it sticks a little bit. Honestly, I probably should just use the regular nonstick, but I like this guy. It's good for like an omelet. That's what it's really good for. Hamagoyaki with bacon and cheese. In the roll form. Get you guys over here with me. Egg. I'm gonna need to cut a scallion from outside. Or outside. No construction as far as the eye can see. Scallion flowers. Are these scallions? That one's got a huge bulb on it. We could throw chives in. My basil's my basil's flowering. We should use some basil. Somebody tell me what to do with basil. Include basil in one of these. Oh, speaking of basil. Oops. Speaking of basil. Make sure that's not having a time. It needs to be turned down even lower. Otherwise it looks fine. Oop, we steamed up our thing. Or no, we come on, buddy. I know you're not that dumb. I know you're dumb, but you're not that dumb. Ah. Boy, it's the dumbest camera I have. Turns out it actually is that dumb. Oh, you guys are on the wrong side. You guys are on the wrong side. Bang. Okay, egg, scallion, and pepperoni. That's an interesting combo. We're going to actually roll that all the way around the other way so that the scallions get pushed into the middle as I roll it. Because it's soft fillings. It's all soft fillings. Let's fry this one. Boy, the tasting today is going to be a thing. Oh, it unwrapped on the very tip over here. It's hard to get a hold of. Okay, so just purely soft fillings I don't think work out very well because it's really hard to get a hold of them for the rolling phase. The whole thing wants to kind of squish. So maybe that flavor would be good for the crimped one. Ah, come on, man. Get a hold of it. We're also much less hot than we were. Still frying very fast. But a little bit less on the blackening, which is nice. One shrimp, which is already thawed. Tamagoyaki with bacon and cheese. Oh boy. So, I know I ask this all the time, and then I re-ask it later. But what's going on? How's it going? What are you having for dinner? What flavor of egg roll did you make today? We're gonna wipe out the pan because I think we're gonna make chicken taco Monday. I have questions. The first one is, what do you mean? I know of Taco Tuesday, and I know of mosquito, and I know of Taco Friday, but what, pray tell, is Taco Monday? Sounds of madness. Where did I put my long chopsticks? I set them down somewhere today. Okay. I was having dinner with a friend, so Taco Monday. Ah, I see. So it's flying solo day. Or something along those lines. Back over here, my shrimp is thawed. Yeah. Cut the back out of him. Open him up. Ooh, he's real clean. He doesn't have a... That one's real clean. Usually there's a pooper in there that you got to get rid of, but his is in absent. Shrimp. What do I add to the shrimp? Shepherd's Pie Tuesday. That also doesn't rhyme. Although, to be fair, Taco Friday does not rhyme in the language where Taco Friday happens either, so I guess they don't all have to rhyme, but they should. Or not rhyme. Rhyme is the wrong word. None of them rhyme. Alliterate. Shrimp. Shrimp needs a friend. What is our shrimp's friend? said feta. We don't have feta. We could and shall do a strip of paneer. With the long knife that I used on the cheese earlier. And set somewhere. Boy, I've gotten out everything and set it everywhere. How have I done this? Oh, it's right in front of me. It's literally that one right there. Okay. Shrimp and cheese. I feel like that needs something. I feel like that's going to want a little bit of our sriracha mayo that we weirdly have a lot of. Isosceles, hello. Welcome. How goes it? This one, that one came out skinny. That one came out almost like a lumpia, real skinny. Probably going to fry better because, as a result. We need to hold the tip down, though. Okay. Oh, that's right. And I still am tinkering with what I referred to as an all-purpose sauce at the top. I think I'll be able to get one of those pieces of chicken out of that package. I keep setting stuff down. I keep setting stuff down. Stop setting stuff down. Perfect looking stuff. The heat from the frying should be enough to cook our shrimps. That's my intent there. Cooked shrimps don't cook very fast, or very, shrimps cook extremely fast. That stuff needs some, oh, come on, man. I can't walk out the room with this going. I should do more real skinny ones. Skinny ones. I need this towel. Hand towel. Oh. Anyways, hi, Isosceles. How's it going? I didn't even... Who was first today? It was probably Raya, right? Glacier was not first. 45 minutes ago, I was not paying attention. Congratulations, Glacier, for being not first. Okay. Our savory chili flake. And honey. And this, we're going to taste test, of course, to dial it in, but that combination should make a pretty good all-purpose savory sauce. Yes. Okay. Tastes pretty good. I'm going to leave it on real low with the lid on it that I once again picked up and set down somewhere. How have I done this so many times today? Okay. What do we think? Keep going? It's been a buck and a quarter. We could make the shrimp on the chicken. Oh, I was gonna do the chicken. Okay, I need to tidy stuff up a little bit if I'm gonna do the chicken. I checked the second kitchen. If only. If only we had a second kitchen. That's the kind of bougie stuff you get in those professional YouTube shows. Come over here. We need a little bit of oil in that pan again. And we want it hot before I put the chicken in. We are going So this is 3 chicken thighs from a large pack that I portioned out and put in a thingy here. You know, who's a what's it? A vacuum sealed thing. And we are we're going to open it up and we're going to cut the end off. Come on, cut, cut. Come on, cut. Should have done that with a scissors, but my scissors is occupied. Kitchen scissors is occupied. I have a different scissors that should have probably used. We, Boris the Crocodilian French onion pizza roll. French onion pizza rolls. Let's see, French onion. That one might be a little too ambitious for jumping in the middle. Sounds good. It sounds like a good idea. Welcome back, Glacier. I gotta say, French onion does sound good, but might be a little too ambitious for throwing one on the fly. I guess we'll have to write that one down and try to revisit it. There we go. But what was I saying? Oh, I can take one of these out, thaw the thing, take one of these out, and then reseal the end, re-vacuum it, and the other ones will stay in there. They are just kind of ending up in a pile. Some of them are obvious. My big knife. Big knife, come to me. That out of the way, get that out of the way. It'll be easier to cut stuff. How's it going, Boris? Boris the Rockadillion. Welcome in. We're doing something. Our format today is not normal. I'm really just riffing on whatever chat is telling me. French onion. I'm not sure. The problem is for French onion stuff, you want to really do the onion slow. So we could have, if you'd been here right at the start, we could have tried doing a small batch of caramelized onion to get them in fast enough to do that. Chicken. All the chickeny things have to be over here now. Okay, I want these to be fried pretty thoroughly because they're not going to get enough cooking to do any substantial catch-up if they're not done before they go in the roll. What do I add? It could literally, oops, I just slopped water from my water dish all over the countertop. That's good, that's what you want. Not really, I was being facetious. I'm re-wetting our roll wrapper. And now I'm cleaning up a water slop. Oh, it got on the cheese, got on the onion, it got on the pickle. Pickle was already wet, that's fine. I minced the chicken up so that it would have a better chance at fully dropping stuff, fully cooking very quickly. Put this egg back in the fridge. Okay. Okay. Yeah, tasting's gonna be weird. Tasting's gonna be a little weird one today because we're just making a pile of all the sort of the same brown fried things, and each one of them is different. How about while the chicken is cooking there, let's come back over here. Oh, French onion. What goes in? Hold on. Right? It's beef stock, onions, and cheese. Beef, onions, and cheese. I could do it, but it wouldn't be that stewed down onion flavor. That's the only problem. Okay. Let's try it. I have an idea of how I could make it work. I have an idea of how I might be able to make it work. bunch of onions, some cheese, and beef bouillon powder. Wrap it up, roll it up. Close it up and fry it? Sure, why not? Why not? We'll see what happens. While he's frying, the chickens are looking pretty well chickened. Take the heat off on the chickens. I'm going to take my barbecue sauce. We're not making a fresh barbecue sauce. We're using Stubbs. We don't want a ton of it. We want enough to coat the chickens. Set down the long chopsticks again. We need to flip this guy over. Oop, we need to not splash myself with boiling oil. I think we're running a little hot again. It's hard to control the heat when there's nothing in there, and also when we're using such a shallow dish. Okay. Mish is going to sleep. Good night, Mish. I know you go sleeps much earlier than the rest of us. Enjoy. Happy sleeps. Good to see you. I think this guy's probably done. What are we at? Like an hour and a half? I'm probably going to do that chicken one and then wrap us up. That's probably going to be the end of it. So, real soon. Because I've got a good pile going here, and I don't want to go too far. Okay, I don't want this extra oil. I just want this part. So we're going to awkwardly push it over the lip and leave the oil in the pan. This one's hot. Do I add anything? Currently it's just barbecue chicken, barbecue sauce and chicken. Oh, I should have been keeping the ones I have already made warm. That would have been a good idea. That would have been a good idea, which we didn't do because I've just been riffing. This one is lumpy. Oh, and it didn't seal very well either. I might squeeze this one together a little bit. Try to get it to not be a disaster. It's going to be a disaster. Okay. Is that our last one? What I should have done is taken just this and put it down here in the oven, which has residual heat on it because I was reseasoning some pans earlier, so they have been cooling off in the oven, so there's just some residual heat in the oven, which is perfect for this. Okay, and then we're going to finish that sauce. We're going to adjust our tastes on that sauce, and that, I think, is going to be all she wrote. We're going with square, and ooh, and I smoked up the house. I can see the smoke in this room. Mess. Boy, we made a mess today. Boy, did I make a mess today. Okay, that heats off, but I'm gonna taste for adjusting flavors. Ow, ow. Oh, that's a bad idea. I want to melt stuff. We'll put it there. That'll be fine. That'll be fine. Where's my little taster spoon? Taster spoon. So Tris. Soti. Nice to meet you. Hi, welcome in. We are doing something nonsense today. Today's nonsense. Sweet, savory, salty, spicy. How are you? We have been frying. That is fry oil. That is it's an experimental sauce. I think I'm going to add just a splash of vinegar. You can tell by the color that the main ingredient of it is tomatoes. Tomatoes, garlic, honey, soy sauce, rice vinegar, and Laoganma fried chili flakes. So it's sweet, savory, spicy, salty, delicious. And then we've been frying a bunch of this stuff, and every one of these has something different in it. And we might be able to tell which one they are by the exteriors, but some of them I think are going to defeat us. Well, I do think that they're going to be edible one way or another. I guess the only one I have any trepidation about is going to be the shrimp one, which is that skinny one right there. Because the shrimp was raw when I put it in. That one had a bit of a problem. These two also had a little bit of a problem, so we will see what happens with them. I should cut one of them open for the plating display. But which one is the question? This one. This one is the one I'm going to cut open for the display, for the plating. The Chicago hot dog one. I think that's this one. I think that might be this one. I'm not sure. I was going to do this one because I'm pretty sure there's cheese in there. Well, rather than telling me which one based on the filling, which one based on position? We have 3 here and 3 here. I'm going to put some sauce into this little square bowl. The only one I know for sure is that one because it's the skinny one, and the last one, which is this one because it's lumpy. Or no, that's the skinny one. I'm already losing track. Flip them over and look underneath. What do you mean? They don't, you can't see through them. One of these is full of eggs. Dysfunctional? With a Y. Well, I'm taking this one, I'm going to cut it in half, and we're going to find out what's in it. I've lost track if that was the one I said earlier. We're just doing it. That's the hot dog. I found it. I found it. It's that one. And then I'm going to take a photo, and then we're going to start to do the big one on top the right. Slightly late. Do not ever apologize to me for being Greek. How dare you? No, I'm joking. I am joking. Welcome to the stream. Boy, Greece. It's very late. It's very late in Greece. Photo taken. Now we're just gonna ramble around and take bites and see what we think of all this stuff. These are all experiments. This is the healthiest meal I've ever made. I know you're joking, but also, this might be on the healthier side of meals I've made. This might be in the healthy half of all meals if I were to compile them. You are always permitted to apologize for being American. America has proven to suck. Let's see, I don't need that plate. I don't need that plate. Pick up some bit. I've got a pickle. Okay, that was fun. That was fun. we're testing. We're not just testing out food. This was also a test on format. I've never done anything like this where it was just like pure riffing. Number one, it's sucking. I can't argue with that. All right, I'm putting stuff away, or at least putting it out of the way. You have insomnia. That is profoundly unfortunate, and I can relate. I also get bouts of insomnia, and sometimes they're just crushing. And I do the same thing. I give up on sleep, and I get up, and I do something else while I wait to get more tireder. Sometimes it works, and sometimes it doesn't. Well, since I cut that one in half, let's try the Chicago hot dog one. See what we're working with. Well, it would be better if I had a better quality hot dog. That's the first thing. But I think we're just about there with it. It's the pickle still has some crunch to it, so does the pepper. It's got that sharpness to it. It's got the saltiness. I know melatonin is controlled in some countries, because you're not really, the way Americans use it runs counter to medical advice, to generally accepted medical advice. We way overuse it, and it is for that reason that it is controlled in some countries, because they want to make sure people aren't overusing it, because it'll do weird stuff to your system if you take too much of it.
When I walk all the way over here, and you can hardly see me, and I'm way over here.
Also, melatonin doesn't work for me. Every time I try to take the melatonin, it makes my insomnia worse. Try it with my all-purpose sauce. That's good all-purpose sauce. Tylenol is way more dangerous. No, that's true. We have all been fooled into thinking that acetaminophen / paracetamol, they're the same drug, is like a benign over-the-counter thing, like aspirin. It's not. You should avoid it unless other painkillers just don't work for you. Because most painkillers, the effective dose and the hazardous dose, there's a big gap. So you get into effectiveness, and then there's a long time before you get into hazard. So you could take extra aspirin if the first one doesn't do it for you, and you're nowhere near overdosing on it. The effective dose versus the hazardous dose for acetaminophen is really, really close. Taking just a little bit too much can tip you over and cause liver damage. That one was really good. That one was really good. I really like the mustard. That is just an Oscar Mayer hot dog, so it's not a very nice hot dog, but it really works. And I like the crunch. I like the crispy crunch of the egg roll shell. This is definitely the right material to make pizza rolls out of. It's got that chew. I don't know what this one is, but I'm going to... should I cut them? I should probably just cut. I should probably do cuts for them. gotten off to talking about painkillers now. What is this one? Oh, this is the one that is attempting to be French onion. So beef and onion and cheese. Mmm. Mmm. Okay, but actually, that one slaps. Mmm. Oh, it's really tasty. Boris, that was a great idea. That was a fabulous idea. Um, the onion's not like caramelized or slow cooked, but it got cooked enough in the fry that it's softened. It's got a tender crisp to it. Mmm. And the beef stock, this stuff. So what this is, you'll notice it's in a little jar. You notice it's in a little Tupperware container. These are the powders from ramen noodle packets. I don't really use them on the noodles. And I was saving the packets, but the packets are taking up a lot of room, so I transferred them into a little jar. And that's just the beef ones. Because when I buy them, I buy a big box of them, and so they got a million of the same flavor. This one's really tasty, though. Try it with our all-purpose sauce. Benadryl is it's an antihistamine, so it's an anti-allergy. It is used by people as for sleep because it has a fairly strong side effect of making you sleepy. It is actually packaged as a sleep aid. Just the same drug. They just put a different label on it and say, it's a sleep aid now. Boy, that one's really tasty. That one's really tasty. So it won't knock you out. It'll just kind of make you drowsy and make it easier to fall asleep. That's the idea, anyways. But it'll also kind of dry your head out, so have a big glass of water. Speaking of water. Let's see, shrimp and cheese. I mean the original one, the first one, that's this one. No, I want to try this one. This one was the weird one. This one was egg and scallion and pepperoni. Egg and scallion and pepperoni. I don't know that I love that one quite as much. It needs black pepper and some salt. There's not quite enough salt in the pepperoni to salt the egg, so it tastes... It's my fault for not salting the egg. It tastes like slightly unsalted egg. I'm sure it'll go great with our all-purpose sauce, but I want to try it without first. Ouzo is an alcohol, yes. Alcohol will eventually knock you out, but alcohol-induced sleep is very, very not restful. So if you're having a problem with insomnia, it's probably not helpful. Ouzo is an alcohol. That one's pretty good. It needed a little salt and pepper, and then I did also put some all-purpose sauce. This stuff, by the way, is doing exactly what I wanted it to do. The flavor just goes with everything. It's just a flavor that goes with everything. It's a little bit of... It is the 5 flavors. So it's sweet, salty, spicy, savory, Sweet. No, I said sweet already. Sour. Which, that's your all-purpose sauce. That was the egg one. I've got the other half of it here. It's my fault for not salting the egg, so it tastes a little under-salted. It goes really well with the all-purpose sauce, and I also just took a pinch of salt and cracked some pepper and stuck it in there and tasted that, and that makes it work. It's very soft. I feel like if I want to do egg in an egg roll, I need some other thing in it just because it was hard to wrap. It was hard to roll it up because the egg kept wanting to squish. So that's the only hitch, I think. The flavors work if I don't neglect some salt. Let's try a dessert one. Let's try one of these dessert ones. They poofed up like balloons. You remember both of these, I crushed them flat. Well, the flavor is real nice. I don't think the texture works really well. The here's what happened. You couldn't see it because it was off the side here. The blob of cinnamon sugar in there was still a blob of cinnamon sugar, kind of stuck to one side. And when I bit into it, it stuck to me and came out with me. And part of it fell on the floor and part of it fell on my face. As you can see, we just have a balloon. It just absolutely is a balloon in there with a little thin coating of our cinnamon sugar. The taste is nice, but I feel like actually, with a second bite, with it not sticking to my face and coming out like that, I think a little bit of butter would help. I think you want to really do a thin layer of it and sandwich the thing together. Probably let it rest. I would even be tempted to maybe fold them up and chill them before frying them. The ballooning isn't the worst thing in the world. They come out like, what are they called? Those things. You know. You know, those things that I cannot remember the name of. Nope. Nope. Yep. I'm completely blanking on the name of these. Beignets. They're a little bit like beignets, except that they are really crunchy. Tamagoyaki. Tamagoyaki is Japanese style scrambled egg, but it's rolled. It's not done as sort of loose curds the way you recognize scrambled egg. They cook it in a flat sheet, and then they roll it up on itself. And you add more egg and more egg to make the roll thicker and thicker, because then it is often sliced, and then like slices of it are put on top of things, such as sushi. They also salt and sweeten it. It's flavored with usually mirin and dashi, so a light fish broth and a light sweet cooking alcohol. The alcohol part of which cooks away as you're cooking it. So it's slightly sweet and slightly savory, and lightly salted in addition to being fried egg. That's a decent idea. I did read that you said that, and I think I read it aloud. I didn't say that I wasn't going to do it. I didn't want to do it because I didn't want to, in the midst of all this other stuff, do another thing that has some fuss to it. Since I do not have a pan, a dedicated pan for it, I would have to use a standard fry pan. And then we'd be sort of doing a fuss with it. It's supposed to be done in a little square pan so that the log stays the same width while you're doing it. This one. Where put that knife? There's that knife. This one. That's our shrimp. It seems firm. Seems firm. Give it a taste. Now that one is really flat and dull. Boy, does that one need something else. Whoa. It's shrimpy. It's creamy. I put sriracha mayo in that one, and I can't taste it at all. That one's going to benefit enormously from our sauce. Garlic white sauce with the shrimp. I'm gonna do the shrimp. I think the shrimp wants garlic and scallion to wake it up, and not cheese. Cheese is not working. White wine, maybe white wine. I think what I should have put in it is this stuff. The crispy fried garlic. That would give us some character, some crunch, some texture, because it's also got almost no texture. Not sure about that one. Not 100% sold on that one. I'm sorry, I've already forgotten if you had a preferred name. Sotiris. I think you introduced yourself with a name. Soti. That will be the wasabi, which is a root plant. It's a plant that is related to mustard. They eat the root part, which is bright green, and it has that really sharp, hot flavor to it. You're only supposed to have a teensy tiny little dab of it. You're supposed to have a teensy tiny little dab of it on the piece of sushi. It's a seasoning. It's not meant to be eaten by itself. It's way too strong to eat by itself. Your sister was probably playing a joke on you, saying, "Hey, try this one," and it's hot. Frying fried garlic, yeah. I don't see the problem, Flemish. This is the lumpy one. I can tell what this one is. This one is our barbecue chicken. Gosh, barbecue chicken. Oh. The flavor's good. Undersauced. Chicken has a good texture. This is another one I think I would do this again. It would need something in there with the chicken pieces, or cut the chicken into larger pieces and cook it more slowly. I did it real fast because I wanted to get it cooked real fast. To give it a little more structure, things that are really crumbly or really loose or really squishy. Needs something to give them a backbone in these. You know what? The dab of extra sauce didn't really make it better. It made it worse. Stubbs. I like Stubbs barbecue sauce, but it is not a topping sauce. It's not a finishing sauce. It's really designed to be a cooking barbecue sauce. Which is probably why it tastes better here where I cooked it into the chicken as opposed to the little dab I added at the end. I think if I had a different one, like a Sweet Baby Ray's or a... it'd be better at the end there. I just needed to have added a little bit more of it when I was still cooking it over there. It's gonna be good with the all-purpose sauce. This all-purpose sauce, by the way. It's good stuff. It's good stuff. It's like a marinara sauce that's spicy, and it's like a dumpling sauce mixed with a marinara sauce. If that makes sense. I've only got one left to try, and it's the very first one, the pizza one. I usually don't do a full thing, you don't usually eat nearly this much, but they're all different flavors. So in order to test them all out, I have to. There we are, our pizza one. Should have gotten to that one much faster. Our cheese has re-solidified. But look at the cheese in that thing. Okay, well. Strong taste of bell pepper. Really mild taste of pepperoni. We could have upped the pepperoni in that one. The cheese in that one is definitely re-solidified, as it was the very first one we fried and is now the last one we're tasting. It is still soft, but yeah, there's no gooiness to it. It's just kind of soft. This is the one. It's good. It's good as is, but it really needs, because it doesn't really taste like pizza. But we'll add a bunch of tomato sauce to it, and then it will. Accidental browning affected the flavor of the sauce. Well, it reduced the overall sweetness of the sauce for sure, but it's going to give us a little bit more of those char notes. I think ideally, to do what was in my head, you would pick a much bigger onion and really gently cook it, slowly, to get it caramelized before you did anything else, because you couldn't afford to be distracted. With the sauce, that is like pizza in a log of pizza. Well, there you go. I've tasted all of them, and I'm already significantly less hungry. This this egg-free egg roll wrapper we used worked really well. They're nice and crispy. They brown up quite intensely, but nobody felt burned Even though they had some black spots, they didn't taste burned at all. Ooh. Yeah, so there we go. Once again, we're just experimenting with formats here, and not just the flavors, but also the format. So it seemed like it went well. There was a lot of engagement, people jumping in, throwing stuff. Everything works pretty well. The shrimp and cheese one is the one I think that I would not do again at all. It needs a complete rework. Which is fine. I only used one shrimp. We only had one shrimp, so we only burned one shrimp out of that. The ones I'm most impressed with are the hot dog, the French onion one. Oh my God, that one was really good. Those two were the winners. The hot dog and the French onion one. So yeah, we didn't get every idea that was thrown out. Some of them because I didn't have ingredients. But we did. All the ones I wrote. Well, okay, so, one of you said at some point garlic and capers, and I didn't do that one. But aside from that one.